Well, here's my feel log for April 20th, 8:18, Sunday in the morning. Um, I yeah, I didn't get any exercise yesterday because and I need exercise. Oh my God. Definitely gonna do it today. I'm so out of practice that I'm like, oh shit, lifting weights. I don't know if I want to do that. It was hard last time when I did this dumbbell exercise because I couldn't get a deep breath. But, I'm not smoking weed anymore, but I very slowly weaning off of stuff that's bad for me. Night before last, I drank alcohol because I just was kind of like the end of the road. It was like the last time I was going to drink, and I was curious. And I was just gonna to see how it felt. I was gonna watch movies and stuff, but yeah, it just made me so sick. And I decided to not do anything in terms of exercise yesterday, just to like, as part of the last day drinking, be like, all right, well, if you're gonna drink, then ruin your day the next day. Not like I regret doing it, but definitely, I don't want to like in a few weeks or whatever get alcohol and be like, yeah, we're going to do this for this reason or that reason. It's like, no, there's no reason ever to do any of that. It made me really sick. But so what I did yesterday was I was going to try to finally do the test, like pass the test. England 1500 to 2000. Because I couldn't really do anything as far as fixing the bike either, because I have all my stuff scattered around for my. I already have a rear brake dismantled and in a thing for my mountain bike, and I had all the bits and pieces for my gravel bike laying around on the table, and so I was just gonna wait until today when I get those blocks. I like lost the blocks. I had these blocks and they just disappeared. For the brake to fix the hydraulic brake, which I've never done before. So I ordered like every kind of block that I could see for like $6, $6.50. I got like these 3 blocks, and then for like $7.50 or something, I got like 8 more of these blocks for all the different brakes, and so I'll watch the tutorial and do the job today. Yeah, and I also today I think I had to the other day I spent $120. It was $100 for the thing and then $20 to mail it, but it was the carbon fiber built fix kit, because I found out that this mountain bike that I have has a crack. I guess that's why whoever gave it away to the community bikes. So, I mean, it's cool that I got a top of the line like Orbea mountain bike for $700, but so I saw the other day before yesterday, the tutorial on how to fix it. And so I'll do that whenever I get around to it. That's another thing I have to do. But I don't mind. I like learning how to do all this and fix it up stuff. Because I have most of my bikes, it seems like, are carbon fiber. Like my cross-country mountain bike's carbon fiber. My single-speed mountain bike is carbon fiber. My time trial bike is carbon fiber. My road bike's carbon fiber. Yeah. My trail bike is aluminum. Enduro bike is aluminum. My Klein's aluminum. I have a steel stump jumper. I think the Redline BMX bike is steel. Yeah, so it's those ones that are aluminum. But yeah. So yesterday I spent the whole day trying to take my test. And I kind of broke my own rule because my rule was if I'm going to study and take the test, I'm going to do it while riding the bike. But yesterday I felt like I really wanted to just concentrate. Plus, I didn't, feel all that good physically. I mean, which means I should have ridden my bike even more. But it was kind of like I was punishing myself for drinking the night before, and I wanted to just focus on that. So I was studying, and then I realized that it needed some fixing. Like one of them, and I know it's so crazy how it takes me forever. You have to pass through these so many times to get them right. Maybe it's because I was high when I did it. I don't know, but like, and I can't remember which one it was because my memory is not back yet. But one of them was in like the 1500s when it should have been in the 1600s. Yeah, and I just didn't notice. It's the craziest thing. So I had to replace that with something else. And then one of them, the spinning wheel invented in 1530 in Brunswick. I wanted to, find out like the story behind that. Turns out Brunswick's in Germany. So I'm like, well, God damn it. How did that happen? This is supposed to be for Britain. So I had to take that off and I had to put it in Germany. And then there was this other thing. These two of them were reversed, so I fixed them. One, the science needed to go to culture and culture needed to go back to science. But there was another problem. Yeah, that I had to fix a couple. I can't remember what. There was actually a lot of problems, like 5. It's insane. So I couldn't even. So I had to open up Google Earth. I mean Dreamweaver, and I fixed it, and then I uploaded it. And then I looked at it and it wasn't fixed. And I was like, what the hell? What's wrong? And I uploaded it a bunch of times because this has been like a couple of months since I'd done it. And I was like, why is it not uploading? So I like restarted the program and it didn't work. And then I restarted the whole computer and it didn't work. And then I deleted it off of the server because I thought it wasn't like replacing right. It wasn't there. And then I finally noticed that, no, it did upload. It's just that there were two horizontal sections that needed to be fixed, and I was looking at the wrong one. You have the horizontal section right above the country of England, and then you have one at the top at the horizontal part. And I was looking at the wrong one. So then after that, the ones that I was fixing, I was making sure to replace on both of them. But yeah, and then I started taking the test, and I studied a little bit, and then I just started taking it and recording it. And if I like get stuck, because the idea is you have to get 100% all in one go. You have to memorize all of it, and if you miss one, if you can't name one, then you have to start all over. And you only have to name it, so it's not like you have to know all the details, but, naturally, as you do the test over and over and over and over again, you get better at it. And you learn more and more of the details of it. And so ideally, you would be able to label it and then describe all of it. The whole thing about it. Yeah, so I was kind of realizing, oh shit, I forgot. Like when I built this a couple of months ago, after that is when I started kind of trying to get caught up on the rest of my life, like getting these bikes together and stuff and going on a few bike rides. And I and since then I like forgot, like you have to remember some names. Like Raid on Picardy, Raid on Redis Wire, and you have to just get them right. You have to not mix them up. And yeah, I realized, oh snap, I need to like do more studying than that. I'm not going to be able to finish the whole thing like just in one day yesterday. It'll take like a couple of days or something, or maybe more, especially since this problem where I had to replace the the spinning wheel in 1530 because it was from Brunswick, Germany, and not England, with the Tower of Rodan. There's a Cathedral of Rodan in Argyll, Scotland. That's like one of the oldest continuously used churches. That's from the 1600, and then they like finished and built a tower for it in 1530. And I decided to, because that was the only thing that I saw that was in the timeline, so I decided to throw that in as the thing. And so then I had to, learn something from scratch there. So, but so yeah, I was just working on that all day long, and I was stretching. It's not like I wasn't getting any exercise, but laying back on my back and stretching is like bad for me. It's like the same kind of uncomfortable, bad. Laying on my back, bad for my body, because that's what I'm used to doing, just laying on my back all day long. I can't do that anymore. So yeah, today what I'm gonna do is do my dumbbell exercise, because I have no excuse not to. And it's Sunday. Only I'm going to modify the dumbbell exercise from the last time. I have to have breakfast first because I didn't really eat not all that much yesterday. Enough. And then wait like a half hour, 45 minutes. But I'm going to do it on blocks this time, not flat-footed, so that I can get more of a leg pump. And somebody was saying, yeah, you should need to use blocks every single time. The guy... Renaissance Periodization, his buddy, they were training lean beef patty and having her stand put her heels up on the weight, and the guy's just like, yeah, every single time you squat, you never want to squat without having your heels raised. And I have these blocks that are for it. But then also, when I take the minute and a half off and the half hour off, as long as I can breathe, because I couldn't take a deep breath the last time I did it, which made it really hard. Couldn't recover or function that well. I was just trying to breathe because I was too close to when I was smoking weed, and I was having kind of an asthma attack. But yeah, instead of just straight up resting, like out of breath resting for 30 seconds between the sets and a minute and a half between the other ones, I think I want to do the dumbbell, do the bob dummy, punch the bob dummy like 10 times, do like a routine, and then do roundhouse kicks on them. Because I can land roundhouse kicks on the head of my bob dummy on both sides. As long as the bob dummy is set to like 5'6". I'm just barely like limber enough to do that. Like getting stretching out and becoming limber to be able to do the splits and all that kind of stuff at my age, 51, when you haven't freaking done any stretching in like years, is like, I mean, that takes forever. That's like you have to stretch for like a whole year to be able to do that, unfortunately. So, and I'm so tight that like I'm like sore and tight, and like, yeah. But so if I can do that for 5-6, I guess I should be happy with that for now. But yeah, so I'm going to give that a try today. And then when I'm done with the exercise, it should take like 45 minutes or something. That's how long the last one did. I'm going to get on the bike and yeah, ride. Riding the bike and studying for this test, they go perfectly hand in hand. They don't get in each other's way at all. So hopefully it's totally cold so I can do the bike all day. But if it gets warm, it's supposed to be 60. I might go down to the bike park actually. And do some jumps on the bike park. But I'm like feeling super, if I'm making progress with that test, I might just stay here all day and just ride the trainer all damn day, like right inside all day, like trying to pass the test because maybe I could pass it because it seems like I'm not that far away. And whenever I miss one, because I like forget the name on some of these more difficult ones because I have to actually remember the name. What I do is I do a screen capture of it. And then I go and I look at my screen captures and just to do a review. I'm like, okay, this is weak. Remember that, remember that, remember that. That's what it's called, that's what it's called. And then delete those screen captures and try again. There's another issue that I discovered yesterday, which I never, I never discovered it or noticed it before. And it's that when you mouse over the icon down on the lower left of the screen, it actually says where the link is going. You know where the link is, and so but the link most of the time is the name of the thing I'm trying to identify. So I was here like the whole time, and it's good I didn't pass the test before because I had no proof I was actually passing it because because as I'm like mousing over it, I'm like, okay, and I'm like holding my mouse over it, trying to guess what it is. Well, at the same time, down in the lower left, it's actually telling me what it is. So there's no way that I can prove that I'm actually doing it. I could just be looking down, and I'd be, oh yeah, that. So I was like, okay, so when you have the test, you have to not mouse over it, and you have to show that you're not mousing over it, so that you're not, so that you know that you're actually doing it. And so I tried to, well, the first thing I tried to do was see if you could just disable that link. I thought maybe I saw one day that you could. Maybe you could in the past. I could have sworn I did that once. But I asked ChatGTP, and they're like, no, there's no way that you could ever do that with Safari. But I don't do the test with Safari anyway, because Safari doesn't show any of the fonts. I had that all explained on my original description of my website, but my mom didn't like anything that I said and made me replace it with AI version. And so now I don't even explain anything that I need to explain. I guess I could throw the explanations of stuff in with the AI, but I wanted to just go back to what I wrote. I liked what I wrote, but my mom hated it because I was saying stuff that I believe 100% that's totally in line with what my website's all about, but to her it sounded like I was bragging. That's her big thing. She's got this big problem. That's why she's like a private person. She's 83, all into the judgment and all this kind of stuff. So I had to like replace all of it. But one of the things I said was like, yeah, you have to get all of the fonts. And that's probably another thing she hated. You don't get fonts, so you don't have to get fonts. But yeah, you have to get fonts. If you have, and it's really easy to do it. You just go into my font page and you click the download and you download it and then you put it into a folder. That's it. That's super easy to find. It's right there in your, like on the computer. But anyway, I have to talk to her today and see if I can move back to that. But, yeah, I have to get permission from my mom to write stuff on my website. It's crazy. Not technically, but I don't want her to, flip out. But anyway, yeah, so, but ChatGPT was like, yeah, you can disable it with, Firefox, because Firefox is the one that, shows the fonts anyway. And it's giving me all these things, and I'm like going down this rabbit hole. You have to like, man, if you want to do some like fancy computer programming, ChatGPT knows all about that. It'll tell you. It's amazing. You can pretty much do anything. But so I'm following these instructions, and I'm like, and it's making me do this and do that, and I guess there's danger involved. You could screw it up, and finally I was like, this is stupid. Like maybe I'll be able to do this, but then what if I want to be able to see the link for something else? And I can't expect regular people to go through all these goddamn steps. So just when I take the test, and when people take the test, I need to just do it with it how it is, where it identifies when you mouse over. Just make sure to not mouse over. So I'm like, well, Okay, well, you have to have the mouse super big then, so it's easy to see that the mouse isn't moused over. So I asked ChatGPT because I'd never done this before, like, can you make the mouse big? And apparently you can, it's super easy. So I made my mouse 100% sized with red borders and a yellow colored mouse. And so it makes the mouse like way bigger, like that big, like a half centimeter or something in length, or a bit bigger than that. And then when you copy text, the bar is really big too, but it shows a little crossbar to show where you want to do it over the text, so it's not more difficult to do it. But yeah, so that worked. When I started taking the test, I just do it like that, and I just make sure the mouse is not over the image that I'm looking at, and and then when I guess and I've done all the uh, talk to everything that I remember about it, that's when I mouse over it and then click over it, and then it tells me. There's another issue that I knew about before, was that when you click over it and it brings you down, just the nature of the design of the site is that it's just one thing listed after another. So you click it and it's the top, and a lot of the times, the next thing in the horizontal timeline, the next icon that you have to guess, because there's three different sections per decade. There's three things per decade you have to remember. Red is for war, plagues, treaties, disasters. Blue background is for science and invention, and maroon is for culture. And sometimes they can kind of overlap, so it's kind of loosely, just whatever you can do. But a lot of the times the next one over is actually on the horizontal part of the timeline right below. So you could kind of cheat by looking at that and then remembering, but I just decided to let that not be a big deal, because you can tell if somebody is looking down at it anyway, because when I go down, when I click it and it takes me down to the horizontal, I just read it really quick just to see like how much of it I remember. And then as soon as I'm done reading, I just click back up, right? And so how can somebody be reading it and then studying the thing below for the next question all at the same time? Because I'm not even giving myself a chance, the time to read it. People can see, I click right back up to the top right away. So nobody can look at two things at the same time. So that's kind of like my proof that I'm not looking at it. And also it's just too much of a headache, to like have to look at it while you're reading. It's like, it's easier to just know it. So, and it's not like that on all of them anyway. So I think it's still foolproof. But, yeah, so I was going through it, and I didn't manage to finish the thing, and I was going until like 10 at night, kind of intermittently, because you just do rinse and repeat, and it can get kind of like tedious, because you're answering the same thing over and over again, the ones that you do know, and then you have to on top of that memorize the ones that you don't, and it can get like tired, and it's not one of those things that you can just do constantly all day. So there's a lot of like downtime you have to do in between. That's why riding the bike and studying it is perfect, because like when I was first taking the test in the morning, I was actually like passing out. Like I was having trouble staying awake, because kind of like the same thing when I was doing my random number generator test. That's the other test that I have. I was like actually passing out. You can see the YouTube video of me doing it. It was a couple months ago, before I realized I had to do touch-ups on my timeline for like a month or something. And now it's finally ready to do it. But I was like literally falling asleep. And yesterday the same thing happened. Even I was kind of still sick from the day before I got food poisoning, and then I fucking wasn't kind of an idiot and got the alcohol. But anyways, I don't regret that, because I needed one last drinking night where I knew that was the day, and that's what happened. And just like I did it with the one last energy drink that I had, but because I was addicted to weed, but there were other things that I was ingesting that were bad for me, and I wanted to independently quit those too. So, but anyway, I was groggy. Yesterday, I was taking the test in the morning and I was passing out while I was trying to take the test. Because it was like some kind of reaction my brain had or something. And at one point yesterday morning, as I was taking the test, I fell asleep and then I started narrating my dream. I deleted the video. I wish I hadn't deleted the video because I could show the video as how it happened. I mean, it's freaking fascinating. I'd never experienced that before. I've experienced like when I was taking the random number history test, I was falling asleep and having dreams. And I think at one point I even was doing that, narrating it. I think that happened again. But no, but last night I was like talking and I was trying to remember one of the, icons I was looking at. And then I fell asleep and I caught myself going like, I can't remember what the dream was, but I caught myself like going like, make sure you bring the rope, or don't forget the tile or something. Cause had a dream that I was telling somebody to not forget the rope or the tile or something. And then I woke up and I was like, so literally what it looked like was, okay, let's see, Bessemer process. Oh no, am I gonna run out of juice? God damn it. If this runs out of juice, I'll just keep recording with another camera. The batteries on these things are so weak. Anyway, yeah, I was like, Bessemer process, okay. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, don't make sure that you forget that, don't do it. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I got back to it. So crazy. So it's like, talk about like literally putting you to sleep right away and straight into a dream. But no, that was only, that's why it's a good idea to take, when you take the test, to be riding your bike. Because your blood's pumping and you're not going to be falling asleep, And if your brain gets tired, then just stop doing it for a while and then listen to a song or something while you ride, or get out of the saddle and ride really hard for a little bit. But, yeah, so that was bizarre. But, you get used to it. And, if you're generally healthy, you don't have to worry about that. So, yeah, I was, doing the test until like 10:30 at night, until I was like, okay, that's enough. And I got back in bed and one cool thing is that you can study for the test with your cell phone just as easy as with the computer. I was doing that a little bit, but no, I fell asleep. I didn't have like insomnia. Actually I did have insomnia. I was laying around with insomnia for a little bit, but I wasn't like looking at my phone. So here's what it looks like on the phone, but you can also hold it like that and it takes up the entire screen. So yeah, so as soon as I pass this test of England, I only have to pass one. As soon as I pass England with the 100%, I can put that on YouTube. And then there's one other test I have to take, because I did 80 BC and 20th century. I didn't do that well on them, but I did them. I did okay. I did the worst. The one that I did the worst on was the 20th century. But I need to do the ancient history one. And I couldn't do it before because my timeline was messed up. The sizing wasn't right, because when I was building it before a couple of years ago and I was pasting it from Wikipedia text gets corrupted. And it's the weirdest thing. It's not written in the code. It's not in the HTML. It's just some kind of, if anybody knows the hell is going on, I'd love to know, but it's just the nature of the text. It doesn't wrap around. It just returns when it wants to. So it just poofed my timeline way out. And so I had to like literally retype the whole thing manually, like the whole timeline, everything that I pasted, so that it wouldn't wrap around, and so that I could use it for my timeline test and look at it and use it as a real timeline. So that's the only other test I have to take. After I do this, I'll do the ancient history, and then I can put them on a little package, I guess, on my website. Like, here's my current, levels for all the different tests. And that's what I take to the market. That's what I will take to the people the foundations who I'm going to try to get money from. And I will be so full of like myself that, I'll be like, I'll be acting like one of these like psychopaths, narcissistic psychopaths who just ask for things from people. And if they say no, they get mad at them. I mean, that's kind of like, in one area where psychopaths have an advantage over normal people, in that they don't have a problem with just like putting on some fake face and asking everybody for everything, and because they don't give a shit about anybody. They don't feel bad about asking for somebody or stepping on people's toes, and if the people even say no, they get mad at them, and they're like, it's like your fault, even if they don't deserve it, and so I will kind of have that attitude, I won't be a dick about it, but I won't have any qualms about asking for people for money, because I know that I know that I'm the best thing out there, And if people don't, and then if I ask for money from all the different foundations, obviously I have to come up with my whole spiel after that, like all the different elevator pitches, the 5 second, 10 second, 60, 30 second, 60 second, 2 minute, 5 minute, all of them, all in a line, all in a row. And all written by myself too, nothing ChatGPT. Maybe ChatGPT could help me out some, but ChatGPT is really fun to work with, to write with. It's really good. But yeah, just ask for money, and then if nobody gives me money, I'm like a worst case scenario type person. I go back around and I tweak it a little bit, like, hey, I came here before, you didn't help me, and then I'll throw a next line in, the next part, and I'll start comparing myself to the people who they do give money to, if that's possible to find out. And if they don't let me, I'd be like, you need to tell me who you give money to, and then so I can explain to you why my idea is more in line with education than what you're paying for, and then I do that with everybody, and then if that doesn't work, I'll come back again and crank it up some more, that kind of a thing. And I record it all. That's what makes it worth it. Record it all on my funding page. That's why I have a funding page on the very top of my link at the top of my page. It's one of the pages that I will record it all in and make it abundantly obvious that I'm asking for money. And also give other people a blueprint of how they ask for money, because I want everybody to do what I'm doing, but that means everybody, but it's all self-directed, so everybody's responsible to get money for themselves. So they just follow my formula, and they're like, look, I took the test here, and then they say the same thing and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so, because my mom is like the opposite of a psychopath, like where they don't care about asking. Like my mom's like, don't ask anybody anything, because if you ask them and you don't follow the exact formula the first time, then they'll write you off forever, and then you'll never have a chance to even ask them again. They'll block you. It's like, wow, you don't really have a big opinion of me, do you? I finally yesterday I was like, bitch, you need to shut up. I'm not even gonna let you. She's not even in the loop anymore. Like when I ask for money from foundations, I don't even let her know that I'm doing it. I just do it on my own, because she'll just try to make me stop. Because she gets into this panic mode, and she thinks that that's like gonna cause bad karma, and make it so that nobody will hire me, because there's a priority list of things you have to do it, and don't ever ask for money before you ask for a job, because if you ask for money, then you're not asking for a job, and nobody will leave. But I already have a job, supposedly, for the summer. So, yeah, and I gotta have my education, get my classes so that I can get those, be a preschool teacher, kindergarten teacher. And see how the kids, I know the ladies I'm going to be working with, are not going to agree with me that you need to teach kindergartners my timeline, but I'm gonna be pushing for that big time. Because me, kindergarten to me would have been all over it. But I'm like autistic. But anyway, um, um, so yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna do my dumbbell exercise first. I'm gonna have a breakfast. Have oatmeal. I just boiled some water before I did this video. Have oatmeal for breakfast with raisins, oatmeal and raisins for breakfast. I'm gonna have that every day. And yeah, I heard oatmeal has some kind of like cleansing property to it. But but yeah, I need to fix my diet. Like my body is so toxified that it's just I know it'll just take a long time to make myself feel better, you know. And I can't ingest anything even remotely like toxic, like alcohol or anything. So, but anyway, yeah, then the dumbbell and the exercise, and then go get on that bike and do the test. And if I can finish that test today, pass it, then it's like big major win, and I'll have a huge load off my shoulders, like you wouldn't believe. So that by tomorrow, Monday, I'll be like clear conscience, be like, hey, let's go over to the bike path. I mean, bike park, and get going on those jumps again. I got as far as launching the wooden jump, so I know I can do the wooden jump, and after I do the wooden jump a whole bunch of times, like I'll do it all day long, then I can get going on the big wooden jumps, and then do and then graduate pretty soon after that to the actual big jumps, and do the whole slope style course, you know, and then including the the whale tail. I've only seen like one kid do the whale tail since I've been here this summer. It's you know it seems like it's the bike park could be more popular. If not enough people do those bike park jumps, they're not going to justify, you know, maintaining them. Like I was looking at the whale tail, and the wood looked really like pale and old, and there's some like boards that are like frayed, and it's like, oh man, I hope this whole bike park jump thing isn't like a phase that people go through, and then kids become so into like video games that it's gonna. I don't think that'll happen, but I think I could be a big asset to the whole bike park community as a 51-year-old. You know, if they see the older guys doing those jumps, it'll make the younger people feel like a bunch of pussies if they don't do it. I mean, my bones have half the density, especially because I haven't been working out as like a 30-year-old. So like, meaning if I crash, I break my bones twice as easily as you would do. So if you see me doing these jumps, there's no reason in hell why you shouldn't be able to do them. So yeah, that's why they need to continue and hire me. They didn't send me my letter of invitation Friday before last, so I wrote them on Monday. I'm like, "What's up with the letter of invitation?" "Oh, well, we're just running behind." So apparently I'm still hired, but yeah. So today, when I get my stuff in the mail, I need to be here also all day today. I can't go out to the bike park or do a big bike ride. I don't want to. It'll be probably too cold and too wet from all the snow. It's snowed 4 inches day for yesterday, but I need to be here when the UPS guy comes, because there's thieves around here that like they're meticulous and they grab your stuff just as soon as it comes. And I ordered something that's I paid $120 for. It was the patch kit, the repair kit for my carbon bike. But I'm also waiting on a lot of things. I like turned into a shopaholic. It's kind of stupid. I got $10 on a crown, because when I pass these tests, I'm going to proclaim myself king of the world to wear a crown. That's a whole nother video. I think I'm going to do the video now, actually. Put the oatmeal in, and while the oatmeal's cooking, I'll do my videos about my timeline. Because I sobered up, right? So now I have stuff to say. All the stuff to say now on YouTube. When I'm baked, I just don't want to talk stuff because I'm not interested. I'm more interested in trying to work on whatever I'm working on. I don't care. And also, I can't think as quite as clearly to say my ideas, and I can't keep my train of thought, you know, like I still am having trouble keeping my train of thought. My mom, I got into ChatGPT, and she said ChatGPT told her it takes like up to like a month or maybe even 2 months to fully get the weed out of your brain. But yeah, so I kind of can't remember what I was saying. but but yeah, I'm gonna sit down and think because I wanted to talk about omniscience, the concept of omniscience. I don't think I did a video about that yet, and that's like a major thing about my website is the concept of omniscience, which is the sum is greater, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So if you learn all of history, then you're gonna gain. It's like you get bonus points, you get bonus knowledge. Then you're gonna get an overview because it's all at the top of your head. You all memorize it. You memorize all of it like at the top of your head. That's why you have to get 100% on it. Then you get like the overview, meaning you get like the feeling of it. You know, like when you feel of a person, you'll know somebody and you know how they would act in a situation, even though you haven't seen them in that situation, because you can triangulate. You know enough else about them. Same thing with history. Like you may not if I memorized everything, 3 different events per decade of a country and all these different countries, and then I take a history test, random number, and I'm supposed to identify what happened in a certain decade. I could, I know the events that happened in a decade, and and from this country and that, and then I can kind of like piece it together. It's kind of hard to describe, but you can you can get like the general gist, the feel for a country and a period of history. And then when you're describing history, you can describe it like, oh, the 1700s were about this. The latter part of the 1700s had these types of things going on. You can kind of left brain it instead of just listing certain things that happen. All the things that happen, and then you can just talk about it as like the general trends, And so that's what I mean, like greater than the sum of its parts. And then you have like the sense of omniscience. And so, yeah, last night I was on ChatGTP and I go, hey, how long? I pasted on my 150 columns across and I go, hey, can you see that there's 150 things there? And it's like, yeah, I can see the 150. And I go, okay, so each one of those is each row is like a different thing. I just scraped what the rows were. And so I go, so how long do you think it'll take a person to memorize all those? Like to get them all 100%, memorize all of it and get 100% if you identify them and get them. And it goes, oh, I don't know. Like if you're really smart and you use memorization techniques, I would say between 60 minutes and an hour and a half. And then if you're not that good, and I wrote back and I'm like, dude, I've been doing it all day and I still didn't get it. And they're like, okay, I guess you're right. Maybe 3 to 7 days. And that actually made sense to me. Like 3 to 7 days. Like if you're riding your bike all day long, for me, I could do it in, like if it's right after I built it, I could probably do it in a couple of hours. But if I was like really good at history, or if I built it and then I waited like 2 or 3 months like I did this time, and then I look at it again, yeah, I could probably memorize it within like 3 days if I'm riding my bike all day long and there's nothing more wrong with it. And I'm taking breaks to not burn out my head. Yeah, I could do it in like 3 days. And if I didn't build it and I was already kind of good at history, I could do it in 7 days. Or if it was like, if I was average at history, but I was smart, and I was like riding my bike and studying it all day, every day for an entire week, it's possible that I could do it maybe in 7 days, So I think it's something reasonable thing to ask people to do, and but yeah, anyway, so I was like, wow. Are you sure like any random person in 1 hour could memorize all that? I mean, I know there's people out there who claim to be smart like that, and certain maybe types of autistic people, maybe like the level 3 autists who can't talk, maybe be able to do it. But and if you can, I want to see it. Like that's how you put these people to work. If you've got a level 3 autistic person and you want to help them have a quality of life, and then yeah, you could take them on hikes or do this, that, and the next thing, take them on field trips or help them read books and stuff they're interested in, but like help them expand their powers, their mental powers, and make them take these tests. Be like, look, you're autistic. Okay, well, here, Look at that. Look at those. Identify those numbers and take the test. If you do it, you're going to impress a bunch of people and you'll make friends, or maybe you could make money off it. I think they should pay autistics. I'm going to write, in fact, I'm going to write these like the Autistic Foundation, I'm going to ask for money for it. And I'm going to say, hey, you guys need to provide, funding for autistic. So instead of just giving money to autistic people because they're retarded, the kinds who don't know how to talk, like the Dustin Hoffman types, the Rain Man types, Kim Peek. I had an interaction with an autistic person just a couple of days ago. This fucking idiot. His babysitter was like, I was getting in an argument with him on the bike trail. They didn't want to get out of my way. So we're like yelling at each other. And the autistic guy's going, oh man. And then the guy didn't want to argue with me anymore and just started hiking down the trail. Only he's hiking off the trail like he was supposed to the first time. Fucking moron. Anyway, I think that guy was retarded too. Oh shit, we're about to run out of, I think it was like a group home situation and they had like a retard leading the autists. But anyway, I'm about to run out of juice, but yeah, you need to pay those guys, like call it their work. Be like, we're not just going to give you money, level 3 autists. You have to pass these tests, show everybody your powers, and then they pass the test and then they can inspire the normal people to do that. Anyway, I'm almost out of time. I'm going to go do my other videos now. Talk to you tomorrow.